Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's right on the dot. As I promised, we are starting, and we have actually got a really killer training set up with you or for you today with a good friend of mine. I know I mentioned his name on the opt-in page for the webinar, but I'm actually going to introduce him here in just a second. We go way back, and he's somebody who I respect tremendously. He's been in this business for a long time, and one of the things I love about this guy is that he lives what he teaches. He's not one of those fake gurus that you all know so well that promise you all kinds of stuff and it's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. This is actually some stuff that you'll be able to put into action, and it's going to just blow your business up. So I'll talk about him here in just a second. But before we get started, I want you to know that it's going to help your business grow by leaps and bounds if you put it into action, because there's real content that you're going to learn today. This is an offer that everybody on this webinar is going to scoop up. You are definitely going to purchase this. And if you're watching the replay, I want you to know now, stick around, watch the whole thing, because the training is going to be awesome, but we're going to give you an opportunity to pick up a bonus that I know for sure is going to blow every other bonus out of the water that is promoting this special launch of my friends here. This is the bonus. He's going to be teaching you how to get clients with Instagram, okay? Now, I know from full experience that one of the hardest, most difficult things about doing any kind of prospecting is being consistent, okay? Put a 1 in the chat box if you also can say that rings true, right? You struggle a little bit with being consistent every day. And by consistent, every day doing a little bit so that way you can get the results that's suggested. Here's what I'm going to be doing. This is the bonus of all bonuses. I am going to be giving you a virtual assistant that is going to do all of these things for you for the whole month, okay? So you won't have to worry about implementation if you take the steps that I'm going to tell you need to take towards the end of this presentation, okay? So just want to make sure everybody got that. If you're excited, please put a 222 in the chat box right now, just so I know that I'm actually even being picked up loud and clear. Actually, it's been a while since there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, 222 if that sounds exciting to you. And by the way, I know from what I offered or what my bonus is, you're probably thinking that this offer is going to be insanely expensive at the end. I promise you, no matter where you are in your business, you can afford this. This isn't going to be something that breaks the bank. All right. By the way, I am an affiliate, so I'm getting compensated for promoting this, full disclosure. But at the end of this, I'm literally putting back everything that I'm getting back into your business, because for me, your success is much more important than me making a little bit of money on the commission. Okay. I want you to have success in your business. And so what I'm going to be doing is taking practically everything that I have gotten and giving it back to these VAs to be able to work for you to help you generate business. So if that sounds exciting, again, put a 222 in the chat box, and I'm going to introduce my friend, my special guest. Actually, here's the thing. This guy, I've known him for, I'd say, probably close to 13 years. Mostly in the beginning was getting mentored by him, by seeing what he was doing, watching how he broke down his funnels, learning how he did things in his marketing business. And actually, I joined a program or training program he did. It was like a mastermind. I can't remember what it's called. He'll probably bring it up. But I joined this mastermind years ago to learn even more tips and tricks from him. And then a couple of years later, I was blessed to actually have him come out to Vegas, and he worked with another couple dozen marketers that came in from all over the world in something we called the Marketer's Mansion. So this guy, I have a lot of respect for him. One, because like I said, he lives what he says. He's not making stuff up. He's not smoking mirrors. This guy is real. But on top of that, I've grown to like him as a person more and more the more I get to know him. For those of you that do know him, a lot of you do, his name's Ben Adkins, and Ben Adkins is going to just help you guys tremendously with this free training today. By the way, Ben is also working with Zach Anderson, who is another great friend of mine. I've known him for quite a while as well. Zach has built some software companies and sold them for 7 figures figures as exits, which is very difficult, by the way. I build software, so I can tell you it's very difficult. So these two guys, it's like a powerhouse of all powerhouses. You got an amazing marketer and an amazing business person. And then on top of that, two really awesome guys. They both really care a lot about the people they work with. Ben did not pay me, by the way, to say any of those things. And he didn't coach me ahead of time either. So Ben, are you there?
I am super humbled by all that. I really appreciate it, man. And yes, it's like we've known each other for a very long time at this point. And where do the years go? You look up and you're like, we've had some good times, but I tell you what, we've been doing this for a while. It amazes me, buddy, that you can get to that point when you first start this, that you're like, does anybody really do that for a living? Is that really their gig? And if you're on the call right now and you're at the beginning of this career that you're putting together for yourself, you're at the beginning of having a business like this, I just want to tell you, I was there too. Like, I was doing the traditional stuff. And I had a brick and mortar business. I was a chiropractor when I first started, and I love that gig. But I found this gig that I'm going to be teaching you guys about, and I found what Mark and I do now for a living from home, and it's something that has been so incredibly rewarding, challenging, and it has been my life's work to do this. And what I want to convey to you guys today is I just want to make things a little easier on you. That's Mark and I, as we came up, buddy, we had to beat our heads against the wall to learn how to do this stuff. And while we got there, it took us time to get there. And I think that the best thing that we can possibly do is if we can make it a little bit easier on the folks that hang out with us to not have to go through those things to get to the other side, to get to a point where you can have a business that you run from home or anywhere that you want to. My whole mantra is, can I pack my whole business up in a backpack and still do really well? And if we can give that across, then I think we've served the way that we're supposed to serve. What we're going to do today, man, if you're ready for me to go.
I have one quick question.
Oh, hit me.
It's been bothering me. Yeah, it's been bothering me. And I just want to say, did you drop the doctor, Ben Atkins? You just go by Ben?
It's one of those things where it's like sometimes it comes out of my mouth and sometimes but still a doctor.
Okay. I know you're still a doctor, but I just noticed that as your brand, it seems like you've dropped it.
No, what's funny is I get that question from time to time now. And it's literally, did I remember to write it out that way? And so it's funny. It's like when I write things to the family, I don't include it, obviously. And when I write things to friends, I don't include it. So sometimes I've noticed lately that it doesn't slip into my emails, which I used to always include it. So
yeah, why not? It works for it.
No, it's more of one of those things where I just have to remember that, I did actually work for that doctorate and you should use it. But I don't get too wrapped up.
I know you're humble. Yeah. Hey guys, look, I'm gonna put myself on mute now. Just wanted to remind everybody, please pay attention. And if you have any questions, put them into the chat box. And then when he takes questions, if he takes questions, I will have them here for you. So just go ahead. No questions, a dumb question, except for a question that's not asked. On mute. Thanks, Ben.
Oh, thank you, man. And so you guys, what I want to teach you guys is exactly what Mark was saying. One of the hardest things that we found when we were coming up, and I know that you probably have gone down this path too, is how do you get customers for your agency, no matter what you're offering as a service? How do you get customers for your agency, and how do you do it in a way that you can actually maintain? I think all of us have probably been to a point where we learned how to do something and you did it, and maybe you got some results, maybe you didn't, but the thing that was really interesting about it was almost impossible to maintain it. And there's a lot of things that are super uncomfortable. And what I want to give you today is the thing that is my go-to. No matter what's going on in my life, no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm doing, I do this every day. And the results of this is something that most people don't have, which is I get about 50 new prospects in my business every week using this. Pretty simple. There's 50 new leads into my system, opportunities to turn them into business, 50 every week. Most people, the number one problem that they have in their agency, and as Mark said, I actually do this stuff. The number one thing that I see people that are trying to do this, that they're not succeeding, is very simple. It's not that they don't have a good service to provide. It's not all the other crazy stuff. It's literally this one thing. They don't talk to enough people every week, whether that be in person or online, to get them into their pipeline to be someone that could possibly do business with them. And so what I want to take you from is, no matter where you're at right now, I want to add an additional 50 per week, and I want to add it to your pipeline in a way that's something you could actually do and maintain. Like I said, if you got any questions along the way, let me know. Now, real quick, I'm gonna get to the point person, so I'm gonna go really fast as we go through this. Feel free to jump in and ask me questions. If you happen to be watching this after we did it, because I know Mark probably will send a replay out to a few folks that have requested it, feel free to send Mark or myself a question question, and we'll get it answered for you no matter what. So going to keep moving fast. Feel free to stop me and ask questions, but let's talk about what we're going to do, because I like to be respectful of time. So I do have an agenda here so that we can follow, so you can see where we're at. In the next 40 minutes, this is what we're going to do. Part one, I'm going to talk to you about something I figured out, that why it's really dangerous to have clients that are only from your home city. If this is something that you're doing right now, that's where I started getting my clients that way, but it can be very dangerous. And I'll kind of show you what I ran into that really put an exclamation mark on that for me in my own life. Part two, how Instagram became the perfect way for us to start attracting our ideal customers that lived outside of our home city. We went down this path out of necessity, and it turned into something that was just an absolute gold mine for us that we realized most people have no idea how to do, but you will after today. So we're going to go through that. Part three, there is a very interesting psychological hook that most people don't understand. And when I say most people, I really mean most people on the planet don't understand this psychological hook that we use to get people on Instagram that have never met us to open up and talk to us about how our agency can help them. And I'm going to share that with you today. And my hope is that you go use it like right away. From there, how to start using Instagram to generate clients and how to do it from scratch. The one thing that I really want to get across to you guys is a lot of people, when they first hear about getting clients on Instagram or growing a business on Instagram, is they think that you have to have a following already or that you have to post a lot. That is the complete opposite of this. If that was what we were doing, this would not be something that would be scalable or maintainable or something that you could outsource to somebody else. You can literally have no Instagram account, start tomorrow, and you can do this. And so I'm going to walk you through how it kind of comes together. And let's get right into it. If you're ready to rock, let me know in the champion number one in the box, and we're going to dive in.
And
Okay,
just really 1 second, I know I don't want to.
please.
One more thing, guys. I just want to remind you, for those of you that got here or didn't hear me in the beginning when I said this, everything that he's teaching you is something you can hand over to a VA. And by the way, I'm going to give you that VA if you take the steps that I tell you to take at the end. So stick around to the end so you can find out how that works.
And as Mark was saying, he's going to hand you the VA with this bonus that he's got. Everything that you're about to learn, that is the best part of what you're about to learn, is you don't really have to ever do this yourself. You can hand it over to the VA. With Mark's got going free and what he's going to talk about more at the end, everything I'm about to show you, he's going to show you how to hand it off, give you the person to actually do that. So let's get into it. So you can see what we're about to do. So part one, the reason why it's so dangerous to only have clients that are from your home city and how to fix that fast without having to leave your house. Because listen, I know I can always get this done the way that I do it. And I'm going to explain how we can do it. I don't want to go into history of me because who cares? But as I said, I started out as a chiropractor. I built my practice using digital marketing. I had no aspirations of being someone that was a agency owner, someone that was doing teaching online, things like that. And not that I don't absolutely love it, but I had no clue that it was what I do. I went to school for way too long to become a chiropractor, spent way too much money becoming a chiropractor, loved being a chiropractor. But I realized real quick that those businesses don't just grow on their own, especially when there's other chiropractors in the town you decide to start in. So how I built my practice is digital marketing. I got really nuts on it. And within 6 months of being in existence, my practice was as big as practices that had been there 20, 30 years. And it's not that I was incredibly intelligent. It's just that I was dedicated and I really buckled down to learn this stuff. And I went through the school of hard knocks with it. But cool thing, my chiropractic practice grew. I actually started my digital agency by accident. While I was a chiropractor, I had somebody that saw what I was doing in my chiropractic business and wanted me to do the same stuff for them. And so that was my first client. They paid me, didn't even realize that was a thing at the time. I knew people were coming to sell me stuff. I didn't realize that was even a thing. But like I got my first digital client because they saw my work in the chiro office. And so that's how that worked. I got my next 10 clients by doing a lot of hustling locally. I was basically putting solutions in front of local businesses, and I would go to networking things like the Lions Club, the Rotary, and I was just talking about digital marketing. And when I'd get done, people would give me money to do it for them. And so that's how I got my first 10 clients. It was all local. It was all very grassroots type stuff. And it was a great start. I put money in my pocket, but there was a problem with the model. And anybody that's done this the way that I did it, you find the hole in this real quick. And this is what it is. Locally, no matter what city that you happen to be from, no matter how big that city, you're massively limited by the amount of good clients that you can get. Let me take a step back. Not the amount of clients that you can get, the amount of good clients that you can get, the amount of clients that you wake up every morning and be like, I got good people that I work with. And so when I started off, I realized that if I was going to be happy with this gig and be happy with it being something that I did instead of being a chiropractor eventually, because it became very apparent that might happen, with what was coming in, I really started to realize I wanted to make sure that I was doing this with people that I enjoyed doing it for. So I had to go outside of my city, especially because I was niching down. I wasn't taking on just everybody, because that was another path that I was like, okay, I've got to be very focused on this. So here's the danger to staying local overall. And I won't go too long on this because I want to get to the Instagram stuff. But this is incredibly important to realize because this led me down the path of Instagram. First things first, if you stay local, you're limited to the amount of really good customers you can get. If you're just local, it's going to limit you in a huge way. You can't scale to that 10, 20, 30, $100,000 a month that most of us would like to if you're just going local. It really makes it difficult. Here's the other thing that I realized back when the pandemic started. Not only did I have the pandemic going on, but we also had a tornado that tore through my town. So it's knocked our local economy out even more than what everybody else's was. And so if I had an agency that was just based on my local group of businesses, that would have crippled me for probably a year. But we had clients from all over because we were doing what we're about to show you, and we weren't as vulnerable as a lot of the other agencies that were in just our town that were servicing just people in our town. Here's the other thing that's really big on staying local. It inhibits your ability to become a true CEO. If your business is just taking on local, it's because you have a personality that your business depends on. What I don't want to do, and what I did in the beginning, is my business was entirely like built upon my personality, my ability to sell and be charming, and that doesn't scale. You can only be in so many places at once. And so if you're depending on 100% on your prospecting and getting new clients and servicing those clients on your personality, you can't ever really get to the point where you can say you have a business, because you just have given yourself a fancy job. So that's why it's really important that you don't stay local, so that you have those things that you have to scale. From there, you can't really get to, like I said, the true potential of what you're doing because of geographic stuff. There's a better way. And the better way that I want to show you guys today is really built around this Instagram stuff, and really how to bring in clients with this really cool network that nobody thinks of as a business building tool. And that's why it's ripe for what we've been doing on it the last 2 years, and what I think that starting tomorrow you should really be doing too. So let's dig in and learn, and let's talk about this. Let me get into the specifics of this. So first things first, part 2, how Instagram became the perfect way for us to start attracting clients. The secret behind Instagram was something they stole from Twitter. And that's the thing. Twitter put this into play, this feature, but Instagram stole it, and it just fit perfectly with what Instagram is doing. So the really interesting feature on Instagram that I'm talking about, for those of you that aren't super familiar, there is this one feature that is on Instagram. And like I said, it started with Twitter, but it's the hashtag feature. How many of you are familiar with that? How many of you are actually familiar with that hashtag feature? Like the hashtag feature, it's fascinating, right? The hashtag feature is something that if you understand what it's actually doing and what it can actually tell you, if you understand the nature of Instagram, there is just something monstrous there. So I want to get very specific with this, and let's get into this. Let's do a real quick exercise together. Can you guys want to do an exercise with me here? So I'm going to do an exercise with you guys, and I want you to pull your phones out. I got my phone out too. I want you to pull your phones out, and I want you to do this search with me. So what I want you to do is pull your phone out, open up the Instagram app. If you don't have Instagram on your phone right now, don't worry about it. Follow along here. You can download it after and just follow this on the replay. But I want you to take this in. So pull your phone out. I got my phone out. We're going to do a hashtag search together. So pick up your phone, open up the Instagram app, click on the very bottom of the app. In the more towards the left is this search function. So you can see a magnifying glass. Click on that magnifying glass, and then at the top of that next screen, you're gonna see a search function. Type in the word chiropractor. Now, literally, you could replace chiropractor with anything. It could be dentist, it could be all kinds of things, but type in the word chiropractor, and then I want you to tell me what you see when you do that. When you actually type in the word chiropractor, you're going to see something specific, and I'm going to walk you through what you are seeing on your screen right now, because it's very important to realize what you should be seeing is a lot of posts, and a lot of confusion if you don't know what you're doing here. What I'd like for you to do is, when you type in the word chiropractor, I want you to scroll over to that kind of filter that says tags. It's right underneath the search box under tags. And you're going to see several hashtags under here that are related to chiropractor. I want you to just right now select the one that says chiropractor. So what we're seeing now is you're seeing the hashtag chiropractor, and you're seeing top, recent, and reels. What we want to do is we want to click on recent. By the way, I do this every single morning before I ever get out of bed. This is what I do, like from the time I wake up to about the time that I actually get out of bed. I'm doing this every morning. Now, what we do here, what you're seeing on your screen, do you understand the gold mine of what we're seeing right here? Most people don't. Most people don't have any clue what's hiding on Instagram, but this is incredibly important. This is what's going on. An incredible amount of these posts are chiropractors that are self-identifying themselves as chiropractors or dentists or whatever you happen to search, but chiropractors is what I searched. They're self-identifying as chiropractors as they post new content on Instagram, okay? And here's the thing that I think has eluded most people about this. What do we know about these chiropractors if they're posting on Instagram and they're posting a hashtag to self-identify themselves as chiropractors? Here's what we know. We know that they're on Instagram tagging themselves this way because they understand the power of digital marketing. Listen, there ain't nobody on Instagram posting a picture and hashtagging it just for their health. They're not doing it. They're doing it because of one simple fact. They realize that Instagram is a megaphone for their business, and they are trying to get people to pay attention to them. These are my ideal folks. You know what I don't want to do? I don't want to go into a business and have to convince someone that digital marketing is powerful before I ever get to what my service is. I want to talk to people that already understand that digital marketing is something that can take their business to astounding heights. They just need a little help. Now, this is the monster opportunity, right? Very often, what we're trying to do is find the kind of people that are already our people and get in front of those people rather than just constantly being beat up by people that we have to explain why this stuff is important. So the idea is right now, with that simple search, what you just found is chiropractors that are raising their hands saying, I believe in digital marketing and I'm actively doing something every single day or every few days to make sure that I'm putting money into this investment, which is digital marketing, and hoping that I get something back. Does that make sense so far? Does that make sense so far? So what I just laid out for you guys is this is how we get the lead source, okay? Now, here's the thing. Now that we've got where to find these people and why this is an important place to go look for them, let me show you the right way to do the next thing and actually get in front of these folks. So let's go to part 3. So there's a psychological hook. Once you understand this, and I really mean this, because this changed everything for me. Once you understand what I'm about to say, everything changes in your life in terms of a digital marketer. You're going to change over from the kind of digital marketer that most people are, where they don't get a lot of results, to the kind of a digital marketer that's playing a very interesting game. You're going to start breathing very rare air because this is where you take a step to being advanced. There's always a point in everybody's digital marketing life where they go from being just like everybody else who's pretending or who's trying, who's fighting for attention, to being someone that gets attention on demand. This is where you become that if you're paying attention. So this is what we call a psychological hook. This is what we use to get people on Instagram that have never met us to open up and talk to us about what our agency can do. Now, 99.9% of people, when they get on Instagram, do it wrong when they want to grow their business. Okay. When I started, I messed this up too, but I finally figured it out. Okay, here is the revolutionary thing. Most people think making money from Instagram, whether it's getting clients for an agency or selling something, doesn't matter, is all about having a big following. This is what everybody who is not in the know thinks. This is what your standard person that you go talk out on the street, this is what they think about Instagram or just about any social network, by the way. Let me just say that. They think that the only way to make money with these networks is to have a lot of people paying attention to you. You being the center of attention, you being an influencer, you being someone who's posting a lot, people are following you because they think, oh, this person's so great. That's what they think it is. That's why those chiropractors are posting, because they want people to pay attention to them. That's all well and good, but that's not the reality for most people. And that's good. That's a good thing. So if you're ready to learn the secret, give me a number 1 in the box. I'm going to take a drink while you guys are doing that. So here's the secret. Here's the secret to growing any business on Instagram. But more importantly, for the context of us here today, here's the secret to growing an agency on Instagram. And we've been doing this for a couple years now, and it's killer. Here it is. One of the most important things I ever learned. Instead of trying to become the center of attention and popular on Instagram or any social network, I want you to flip the script and start doing this. I want you to start helping other people feel like they are. Let me repeat that. Instead of trying to become the center of attention and popular on Instagram to grow your business and have like clout with people, I want you to focus on helping them feel like they are doing something good on these networks. Okay, now here's what I mean. When you start doing this, things are going to start to happen for you. I want you to show the person on the other end of this Instagram stuff that you see them, that you see they're trying, and that in a sea of them posting things that nobody pays any attention to, you see them. You are paying attention. When all of a sudden you flip the script from trying to be the center of attention to giving other people engagement and attention, now you have their ear, and they're going to instantly be open to engaging with you and talking with you because they're starved for attention on these networks. Now, so far, I'm going to get into the specifics of this next, but does this make sense so far? Like I said, there's some things that are like really learned that we have to unlearn here. And when you do unlearn them and you start doing this a different way, everything changes. Okay, so let's get into this next section, because this is where the rubber really meets the road on everything we've established so far. So part 4, how to start an Instagram client generation campaign from scratch. Beautiful part about this is you don't have to have an account right now. You don't have to have any followers. You don't have to post every day. That's not what this is about. Okay, remember, we're completely letting go of what we thought this was, and we're going to start doing something that's way more effective. So confession, what I do, what I'm showing you here in the next few minutes, is I do this stuff from bed. I don't need a computer in front of me. I need my phone. That's it. I do this from my phone. I do it from home. I do it from whatever hotel I happen to be at the time. I do it if I am staying at my parents' house for the weekend to see them. I do it from there. I'm consistent with this. Okay. The beautiful part about me being consistent with this is, guess what? It's not just me that's consistent with this anymore. It's the VAs that I've hired. And if you stick around at the end, when Mark is going to tell you about this bonus that he's put together for you, you don't have to do this at all. You can have someone else do what I'm about to show you, and he's going to help you get that set up. So all that aside, let's get to it. If you're ready to see it, give me a number 1 on the box, and I'm going to get into this. Every single morning before I get out of bed, I do a 30-minute routine. Also now, every single day, I have several VAs that are doing this for me. We're generating leads every day consistently. But let's just say this is you doing it, or you have one VA that's doing this for you. Let's just say that. Here's the process. Step 1, I get on Instagram. I do the exact search that I just walked you through earlier in the call. And I do a search for a niche, and I look for 5 special criteria with any of the posts that pop up in the recent search for that hashtag. Okay. Now, these special criteria, I'll get to them later, but there's 5 things that really alert me that this is somebody that's probably a good potential client for me. Okay. So I do this. I look for these 5 special criteria. This lets me know the client's ideal. Once I find them, I'm looking for 10 a day. Okay. I'm not stopping till I get 10 a day. This can take me 10 minutes. It can take me 30 minutes, but I'm looking for 10. Okay. So I find 10 potential prospects and I make a comment on one of their recent posts and I follow a template. Okay. I have a little template that I do, but the idea behind this comment that I'm making on their post is it doesn't look like it's a bot. It doesn't look like it's automated or that I'm mass messaging. I make a comment that really has something to do with the post that they put up. So I reference things that are in the post. It's thoughtful. So what I do is I find 10 prospects. I find these posts. I like the post, and then I make a comment. Now, what this does, if you're really thinking about this, for somebody that's posting on Instagram, all of a sudden, wherever they're at, their phone buzzes, they got a notification from somebody that they don't know. Somebody that they don't know just liked one of their posts, and then they made a comment that is real. So what you just established psychologically is they got a little bit of a boost mentally. The chemicals in their brain started to swirl, and they got a boost mentally because they got a like. Someone actually enjoyed their post, and they don't know who this person is. So there's a level of curiosity there. Also, this person's real because, okay, not only did they like the post, but they made a comment, and it doesn't look like a bot. This looks like a real person made a real thoughtful comment on this post. So not only is this somebody new that I don't know, but they're real, and they are appreciating something that I took the time to think about and do. And they notice something that I put a lot of thought in. So that's the idea. So that's what we've established there. Now, the next thing, step 3, is this. I follow each prospect. So not only did I like the post and made a thoughtful comment on it, but then I followed them. Now, the signal that this sends to them now, they're going to see 3 notifications: a like, comment, and a follow. So now they know that we enjoyed something they put thought into. Now they know that we made a thoughtful comment so that we're real. And now they know that we enjoyed their post so much that we decided that we wanted to see more of these posts. The amount of things that mentally just happened in their brain from seeing those 3 notifications is substantial. They are in a completely different mental place. What do you think the next thing that they're going to do is? The next thing that they're going to do is simply this. They're going to click on your profile and they're going to jump over to your profile. Now, specifically, we have a couple things written on our profile that puts us in a good position. I'll cover that in just a bit. You can set those up in 2 minutes, but we have a couple things specifically that get them to, oh, this is a real person and this is what they do and interesting. And they noticed me. So here's what happens after that. a percentage of those people that we do this to every single day come back to the post and they respond publicly to our comment. Sometimes it's just a simple thank you, sometimes it's more in depth, but they respond. For one that responds back to us, I send a templated direct message to their inbox. So now I have gone from complete stranger to somebody that they know what my name is, they know my account, and now I'm in their inbox. And with this templated messages, we start a conversation, all part of a template, by the way, that's easy to follow because we spent years developing this and getting it right. Not that it was right in the beginning, trust me, we spent years getting this right. But we send in a templated DM, we get a conversation started. That conversation very quickly in step 4 goes into us booking them into 15 minutes to talk with them about the service that we provide. Okay, this is probably a service that you're already providing. And if you're not, we can talk about that too. But the idea here is we get a 15-minute meeting with them. This is not an hour meeting. This is us talking for 15 minutes. Sometimes it's over Zoom, sometimes it's over the phone. But the key is we're talking to them about what we do and about what they do and how we can help grow that. From there, we close the deal. And once again, very templated process to close the deal on our service. They end up paying us typically for a monthly thing, and we just repeat this daily. Does this make sense? This is a daily process. Now, let's just say that you did this daily and you got 10 a day. Instead of having weeks where you have no new prospects, nobody new coming into your funnel, you set up a real machine that's going to deliver 50 new specs a week, and it feels like you didn't have to work that hard to do it. One of the things that I hate about prospecting is I don't look forward to most of it. It's a necessary evil if you're just starting and you don't know a lot of ways to get customers. It's a necessary evil to go to those Lions Club meetings like I did, to speak at the chamber, to do all that stuff. But if you don't have to, why would you? And so in about a few minutes a day, we get this done. And by the end of the week, we have 50 new prospects. This is why our agency continues to grow versus a lot of agencies that never get anywhere, or maybe sign up maybe one client a year. That's not where we want to be. We want to be someone that is scaling quickly. This gives us the ability to do that. Now, the best part of this is, let's say you have no Instagram account right now. You can start from scratch tomorrow, do 10 minutes worth of setup, and this works. Very simple, and this works. The reason I know it works is because we've trained outsourcers. We have these that we train from scratch, and we get them going with no account, brand new account, and it starts working very quickly. Now, would you like an in-depth, over-the-shoulder walkthrough of everything? I gave you the 10,000-foot view of this because we have limited time today. Would you like full walkthrough of this with all the templates, all the messaging, all the specifics where you could literally look over my shoulder and see how we did this? Okay, cool. So seeing lots of replies in the chat. So how about this? Would you like to see how we fully outsource this? Everything about this model, at first, I did it myself, but now we bring on people all the time to do this. And with what Mark is going to do for you guys here in just a few, with this outsourceable model, you're going to have a VA to do it for you too, so that you could actually run your agency like a CEO rather than a worker in that business. How many of you would like to be able to grow your agency without ever having to talk to a potential customer in person, meaning no more face-to-face if you don't want to do that? Here's the deal. You're here with us today. You came to hang out with Mark and me. I'm so honored to be here. He told you that we had something that was this over-the-shoulder tutorial with everything inside. I want to introduce that to you, and it's called InstaClient Recipe. And I call it a recipe because I have some sort of weird food obsession where I love to eat, and that's okay. But we call it InstaClient Recipe because this is something that I have made this dish 1,000 times plus over the last few years, and we've dialed it down to a very specific recipe that anybody now, whether you have experience with this or not, if you just follow this recipe, you can get the same kind of results that we're getting. It's a step-by-step template to generating a ton of business from Instagram for your digital agency. Mark, do you think it would be cool if I showed them what they'll learn inside if they jump in, and then we'll talk about
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So real quick, I want to show you guys what we've got inside and what this over the shoulder looks like. Part one, as we're doing that search that I showed you guys how to do, I don't want to go after anybody that is not ideal, that's not likely to talk to me. So I have 5 criteria, and this helps me zero in on the perfect people to spend my time doing that message reach out with, okay? And of all the folks that could be out there that wouldn't buy from you, we only want to talk to the people that really fit into that category of not only are they understand digital marketing and they're into it, but what are the other things that really put them in a position to where they're going to be likely to be someone that is a client of ours. And so we're going to go through those 5 criteria with you in part one. Part two, hashtags. I showed you a very basic hashtag search here.
By the way, I really like that training right there. That was, yeah.
No, Right? Really good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to front. I never really fully understood how hashtags worked, and that was really good. So,
Well, and the thing about this is once you understand this, like I gave one on the training today, just an easy way of how people kind of self-identify. But when you go through this hashtag training that we're going to do specifically, you start finding all these cool pockets of
mm,
customers and it really opens up and you really start to understand that Instagram has a ton of people that are just waiting. They've literally got their hands raised for you. And this is going to put you in that spot where you understand how to use hashtags in a very unique way. So we got that. From there, part three, we want to talk about how to bond. So I talked a little bit about this. I talked about the message template that we send out initially and how that's something that is really identifies you as someone that's not a bot. And it's really pulling some psychological levers that you can pull in a very short amount of time. Part three, we're going to cover that in depth. Okay. So I'm going to go through this step by step, what we do, what's the process of building that bond before you ever ask to meet with them or any of that stuff. So we're going to make sure we have that bond in place early on. From there, once you start to establish that bond, what do you say when you like direct message them? When you actually take this relationship to the next level, because that's what this is. It's an escalation of a relationship. How do you actually bond with them even further after you've got that initial bond established in their direct messages so that you can get a meeting? The idea is the more prospects you get in front of, the more people that become really hot leads, the more people that become folks that you can book a meeting with, the more meetings that you book, the more clients you get, the more clients you get, the more recurring revenue you get. That's the name of the game, right? So in this DM recipe, we're going to show you how to escalate that relationship even further to get a meeting. And finally, when you get a meeting in part five, I'm going to show you how to close the deal. What is the process of when you started nurturing and warming up a client, a potential customer for your agency? When you started warming them up on Instagram, what's the process of actually closing the deal? So we give you the full perspective of this. And a couple more things that I really want to mention. I added this extra stuff in, especially for folks that, are going to do this VA stuff and that you really get this. So if you're starting a profile from scratch for maybe you or for a VA or for several VAs, these next two things are going to be incredibly important for you. So the first kind of bonus I put in here is what we call the Insta pipeline. This is a workflow. This ensures that no matter who you're training to do this, no matter where you're starting from scratch, that you build a pipeline that's going to deliver leads for you every single week that are going to graduate into meetings that are going to graduate into customers. So what this is more specifically, what needs to happen with everything that you just learned so that it becomes an assembly line, but it never seems like an assembly line to the people that are on the other end that you're trying to attract. So that's the key in bonus number one. Bonus number two is this. You want to do a couple things to set up your profile because people are going to be clicking over to your profile to figure out who you are and who the heck this person was that just interacted with them from out of the blue. And so we're going to do a couple things on our profile to dress it up. And as I said, you can do this from complete scratch. But bonus number two is going to show you exactly how to dress your profile up so that it looks legit, it looks good. Even if you're doing this through base, it gives people the warm and fuzzies when they jump over so that you can start that relationship and you can lead to where you want to go. So with all those things said, like I said, the last thing I want to mention, Mark, is something that's important to me. I realized a long time ago, you don't build an agency by sitting in front of a computer for days on end going through training. This training isn't over the shoulder. We cover everything in depth, but it won't take you that long to get through anybody that wants to get through it. So we make sure that this is something that, like, when you guys get in, when you see the link that's coming on the next screen, when you guys get in, we're going to make sure that you guys are done with this training in the next couple hours and you can get started this afternoon. Mark, I got a link on the next screen. I know
yeah.
that I know
Before
you want
you
to talk first. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. But before you drop this, two things I want to say. Number one, this is first off, thank you very much, Ben. This was really good, and I appreciate you coming and doing this for us. I know there's a lot of other people that are promoting this right now, and you didn't do that for everybody. So I thank you a lot for that. Yeah, I appreciate it. Second thing is now I'm going to talk about these two things. Number one, when I went through this, I realized a lot of people are just starting their agencies and they may not really have something to sell yet. And so I know you talk about this in some of the other, like in the upgrades offers, the upgrades of the offer, but I wanted to throw this out there for anybody who doesn't upgrade, even though I'm going to tell you a good reason to upgrade and get what I like to call fully vested InstaClient here in just a second. But what you should do if you can't get fully vested and you want to do this yourself, Worst case scenario, you could go and use this method and do like Fiverr arbitrage very easily. Go and come up with some really awesome thing that you can buy once or maybe get for a very affordable price on Fiverr from an awesome Fiverr gig. And if you've never heard of Fiverr, it's been around for a long time and it's amazing. What's funny is I talk to businesses all the time and they've never heard of Fiverr. But I would definitely get this at any level so you could just start getting your first couple clients. Because if you take the steps that Ben just went through, there is absolutely no reason why you will not have people that you can jump on a call with, Zoom, and help them. So definitely something like that would be able to help you get your first couple of clients. As a matter of fact, when I first got into marketing, I accidentally did what I'm telling you to do. I started back in 2010, and right before that, I was selling merchant services to businesses. I was going in and selling them like credit card processing, but I was doing it all over the phone. So when I found out about digital marketing, which I'd already done for myself for a long time anyways, but when I found out that businesses would actually pay me a lot more for that, I just started calling all my old clients that I just signed up for $20 a month to then turn around and pay me $1,500 or $2,000 a month from digital marketing. So what you may do or may consider while you're just getting started, if you don't have something you really feel confident you can fulfill on, just go to Fiverr, find something, let somebody else do it for you, charge your client practically nothing, just so you can get them to become a client and then upsell them all kinds of stuff. And I know Ben talks about that in the upgrades. So if you guys get in on the upgrades, you'll see what I just talked about in a big way. Okay. So now let's talk about the upgrades because I'm fully disclosing everything on this because I want you to go in eyes wide open. Okay. The price for this is ridiculously low. If you've been on any of my webinars, you're probably anticipating at least a high 3, if not 4-figure price tag here for what we're talking about. That's not the case at all. It's like practically nothing. And I think everybody who's on here would be well served getting this, even if it was just to see what it is and get the templates on the front end. Okay. I think everybody here should get it. You have no excuse to not get it. Okay. Especially, don't you offer like a 60-day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's giving you like a 60-day guarantee. You're crazy if you say no. Okay. However, if you go ahead and get fully vested and buy that, you get there's a total of 3 products being offered throughout the funnel, right?
Yes.
The first product, which is the InstaClient recipe. And then what do you call the first upgrade?
As we get into this, there's, like you said, there's 2 upsells. And I think that the key is me just explaining this in the thought process, because what I hate, buddy, is when people put things on the back. Like I said, you don't have to get those
Yeah.
things, but
Yeah.
I hate when people put things on the back that make no sense.
That are worthless. And I went through every one of them. So I can tell you right away, it wasn't just some like afterthought. I can tell you that you did. And by the way, guys, one more thing I will say about these upgrades, and I don't like to call them upsells. They are upgrades. Okay. It gives you the ability to step your way into exactly what you really want and get what you can afford. If you can't get it, you can't get it. And there's no reason why everybody here can't afford this, okay? But what I was going to say is they're not long drawn out trainings where you're like, oh my gosh, this guy is just talking about a bunch of nonsense. I don't have time for this. I went through everything in a night, and that was every piece of it. And I will tell you that if you don't get all 3, you'll wish you did. Go ahead. I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to cut you off.
Before we get to the link, I should explain what those upgrades are, because like I said, here's the idea. What's going to happen to you, and you don't know this yet, but what's going to happen to you when you start doing this is you're going to have clients come your way. What I really wanted to do is, for those of you that are getting this massive amount of clients that you weren't used to, is how do you actually build an agency that is not you creating a job for yourself? The money's about to come. The clients are about to come, because this is a super effective way to get them. And so maybe if you've never had success before, you've never gotten to these more high quality problems that these upsells, KK upsells, I hate that word too. They're definitely upgrades. You maybe never had these problems that we're about to solve for you, but you're about to when you go through InstaClient. So here's what happens. One of the upgrades is simply this. It is, hey, how do I provide a service to people on the other end without actually having to do any of the work? So here's the big dirty secret of my agency, Mark. I used to do the work. I don't do any of the work anymore. Nobody on my actual team does any of the work anymore. We have a group of agencies that we quite literally outsource all of our agency work to, and we basically get paid for quality control. And so what we teach inside of this upgrade is we teach you guys how to bring clients in using something like InstaClient and provide a great service. Whatever service you want to provide, you can provide that service, but you're actually outsourcing the work to another agency. And so we show you how to become this white label type agency. Now, the other upgrade is a different vibe. This is how we scaled even further past InstaClient. Let's say you don't want to go do face-to-face stuff. Wouldn't it be nice if you flip the script on what we just talked about with how we do our work in agency, so we don't have to do any of the work, we just do quality control and manage it? Wouldn't it be nice if other agencies out there that are doing digital marketing, other organizations, charge you all of their business because they didn't want to do certain services? Maybe they're doing SEO, maybe they're doing graphic design, and they don't want to do the service that you're providing. We'll show you how to put yourself in a position where you are a trusted provider that is doing all the work for them. So if you're keeping score at home, what you get when you get this whole package is not only do you understand how to bring in people from all over the world using InstaClient, you can do this from your own house. You also understand how to not have to do any of the work by outsourcing the work to other agencies. But then you're also going to learn how to get other agencies and other big organizations like Chamber of Commerce's, things like that, to refer you business, which then you could turn around and also have other agencies do. And the idea here is what you're getting paid for maybe the first time in your life. Maybe you're already running an agency and it's running you to death, but what you're getting paid for finally is you're getting paid to be the CEO of a business. You're not getting paid to have a job. Most of us, Mark, when we first start, this is me included, we jump out of a job and we jump into a different job that we created for ourselves. The whole package here, when you guys get InstaClient and you get both of the upgrades, it's going to show you really what we've learned over the last 10 years so that you can actually have the kind of business that I think most of us got into this in the first place to have, which was, I'm going to get paid to be someone that connects the dots for my customers. They don't need to know how the sausage gets made. All they have to have is get results. And here's the cool thing, Mark. I started to realize that when I started outsourcing the work to other people and having more business come my way, that the quality of the work actually went up because I wasn't so stressed all the time. And we were literally giving pieces of work to people that was all they did instead of me trying to do it all myself. So what you guys are getting inside, and we're going to talk more about this bonus that Mark has, and then we're going to get you the link, I promise, is you guys are getting the full blueprint of how a really successful agency from some goofy guy who's done really well for himself after he quit being a chiropractor, you're getting the full blueprint on how we do this and how I run my entire life from a backpack. And it's gonna hit you with some things that are maybe a lot different than a lot of people out there are talking about what this life looks like. But what I will promise you, and this is why Mark and I get along so, is I'll promise you that I'll tell you the truth. I'll show you how it works, how it all comes together, and I'll show you how you can do this. And if you're the kind of person that has very little desire to be someone that shows up in an office every day, very little desire to be someone that has to be somewhere at a certain time of the day, but you still want to have a business that dwarfs most of the doctors and lawyers in your town, then this is something that you're going to get the blueprint behind it. Listen, let's just say you don't want that. Let's just say you want an extra $5,000, $10,000 a month to come into your life. It works for that too. Like I said, that's what it is. Now, that's pretty good, Mark, with what we put together, but you did something, man, that upped it a notch. And I'm just blown away by that. So I know we're about to get to the link, but I think we should talk about one more time what you're doing with the VA stuff, because it's nuts. And if they go through the entire funnel and get everything, what are they getting?
Yeah. So again, there's a total of three pieces to this to become what I like to call fully vested. And that is going to give you access to all the things that you need, not just to get clients, but to help grow your agency. So I fully stand behind that. And I know also that Ben's got a 60-day guarantee that he's standing behind this. So I know personally I'm putting myself out there by even offering this, but I trust that you're not going to get in and have a problem with anything that you see. I went through it myself, and I wouldn't even be here if I didn't think it was worth your time. Okay. So my bonus to you, which is the bonus of all bonuses, I think it's probably the best bonus I've ever offered in a long time. And it's been a while since I've done something. So
It's pretty amazing, I just got to say.
So you guys are going to get your own VA to do exactly what Ben has just taught you during this method. Basically, in order to be successful, we all know consistency is key. If you don't do it every day, if you do it partly, some days you have a little bit of activity or you try to make up for other days like once a week. It just, yeah, you're going to get lucky sometimes, but that's not going to give you the momentum that you need to really take off. The reason why anybody who's successful in this, including myself, I'm just a workaholic. I get in every day and I do the same things. I know watching Ben's training, he has like schedules that he follows. He's very regimented on what he does Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for his prospecting. So for me, myself, I'm also very regimented, but I learned very quickly that I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life because it's just not what I enjoy doing. I don't have a problem talking to customers or potential customers, but I don't want to be sitting there doing tedious work. And a lot of people, they get these kind of things and then they got to put more money into finding somebody that's going to help them do it. And then you got to spend the time training them and vetting them and blah, 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 blah. All that stuff is a bunch of work that nobody really wants to do. So if you get fully vested, you're getting your own VA that's going to do this work for you on the level that Ben says needs to be done. So every day they're going to come in and they're going to do your 10 messages for you, all of the follow-ups, all of the things that Ben suggests that needs to be done, and it's going to happen daily, Monday through Friday. All you have to do is decide if you want us to use your profile or if you'd like to build another. I know Ben said that's not a problem, so I'd be open to just doing that if some of you are a little bit nervous of providing your credentials to somebody in the Philippines. Now, as far as these VAs are concerned, I worked with our team for many years. I think I've worked with Marie now for 8 years, something like that. So she's awesome. She does a great job. And if we do build your profile for you, we'll give you access to it. So you'll be able to see that all of the stuff that we promised is going to be done is going to get done. And you'll have access to that. But yeah, that's it. So you'll get a VA for 30 days. And that is my bonus for you guys getting fully vested. Hopefully I wasn't too long-winded.
No, it was great. It was great. And with that, I think that we can get to what everybody is waiting for. Yeah. So here's how you guys get in. If you go to spr.com/Mark, it is in the chat for you right now. You should be able to jump in and go grab that. And listen, we've been talking about a lot of stuff with bonus and things. So what I'm going to do real quick is recap what you're getting inside when you go to spr.com/Mark and get through everything. So part one, we're going to go through this 5 secret criteria to zeroing in on who are the ideal prospects once you do that search and you really dig into this. From there, we're going to talk about the hashtags. How do you find pockets of clients that are hiding in Instagram past the initial very basic hashtag that we talked about on this call? How do you dig in deeper? And like I said, I highly recommend going through this. This will change your life no matter what you're doing because it's going to open up a lot of doors for any business that you want to put together. From here, how do we bond with people? How do we get people to instantly like us and feel like this person stands out? This person is somebody that I need to pay attention to. And how do we do that in a short period of time? That's what we're going to cover in part 3. It's literally laying in bed. How do you bond with somebody that is 1,000 miles away from you? And we'll go through this. So from there, how do you take that relationship to the next level? And what do you say to them when they give you the signal to DM them? What do you actually say back to them? And how does this conversation go so that you can escalate this into a meeting to pitch your service? From there, how do you close that deal? How do you get with them, close the deal? How do you do it in a short period of time? I don't spend a whole lot of time on these pitch meetings that we set up with Instagram. I spend about 15 minutes because that's all you need. And we're going to show you how to go through this. First one you do won't be 15 minutes, I promise. Like full disclosure, the first time you do it, it'll be 30 to an hour. But you'll get it down to 15 if you follow how this comes together, and we'll get it there. And that's, like I said, that's not all. For those of you that are paying attention, Mark's got this great bonus that he's going to hook you up with a VA. If you get fully invested in the full funnel, you're going to be blown away by what you take in with this training. But also, I want to make sure that you understand this is set up for base because that's what we do. We bring people on to do this. So we have this bonus called the Insta Pipeline, which is how you set up this machine that's going to drop leads and convert those leads. How do you set this machine up so that it works even if it's not you doing it day in and day out? Is this something that can actually be done by something else? Remember, I told you at the beginning, you can't build a business that's based on your personality. Otherwise, it's just a fancy job. And so we show you how to set this up and how to do it in an efficient way. From there, bonus number 2, you got to make some edits to your profile. And whatever profile you happen to use, if you're setting one up from scratch, how do you set that profile up so that it does the job that it's supposed to do to give them that feeling of this person's real, this person is an actual human out there, cool, a real human's engaging with me, and they escalate it from there into a further conversation. So all you got to do, you guys, is go to sbskr.com/Mark. When you do that, not only do you get everything that we just talked about, when you get fully vested, you get this, you get the 2 upgrades that we talked about a little bit earlier, which is the invisible agency and the white label agency. When you guys do that, you guys are going to get Mark's bonus, which is astounding. He's going to hook you up with a VA that knows how to do everything that we're talking about here, and they're going to start the work for you so that you get this process going. And let me just tell you, I don't do a lot of webinars like this. This is something that we're doing special. I've done more webinars this week than I've done in a very long time. But what I do understand with this is I don't see a lot of things like this for the investment that you're making. Most of the time when you're doing something like this and you get a bonus that Mark has put together, and I don't even call it a bonus, this is a business opportunity that Mark's put in front of you guys. Most of the time when you see this, the minimum investment is going to be like $5,000. I know this because I sit through a lot of pitches for people that are doing stuff, because I'm always trying to grow my business by outsourcing work and doing things. And most of the time when you got people that give you a system and you have someone that like you hire to do the system, $5,000 is the minimum investment to get started. If you guys have gone to that link right now, you're starting to understand that this is rare air. So Mark, I'll let
can
you.
we just say, okay, first off, I got to have a couple questions here.
Oh, yeah.
When is this offer ending? It ends tomorrow at midnight, right?
Yes, it's Friday at midnight. And
Is that Eastern or?
yes, it's Eastern. And so full disclosure, because I don't like the whole, why is it ending? Why would you close it down? Here's the thing. Buy this. Could you still buy this from me and Mark after? Sure, I'm sure that we could cut you a deal, but it's not going to be for any less than $1,000. And that's the thing, is like when you guys really see what you're getting on the other end, yes, this is something like, I'm not trying to give you some false, it closes down and blah, blah, blah. No, you could come buy this from me and Mark on Saturday morning, but you're going to pay a lot more.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to take the bonus off the table either. I'll sell it.
No, absolutely. Except for like you guys, we're doing this right now because I think the thing that like Mark and I really get off on is seeing people with Mark. We've seen this over the years 1,000 times. You talk to people, they bounced around, and then they find that one thing that makes the difference. That's why we're both all in on this, is because we know where this leads if you jump in, especially with getting the help of somebody that can help you stay consistent with it, with the VA bonus. So yeah, me and Mark will sell this to you later. But what we'd like to do this week, and the reason we're doing this week, we talked, we hadn't got a chance to hang out in a while, and we're like, this is a good opportunity for us to hang out. And wouldn't it be cool if we put it in front of people in a price that was one of those things that if somebody said, you know what, I'm going to give that a shot, and we tricked you into something that's life-changing.
Let me just tell you what the price is if you haven't been silly enough to go, if you're silly and you haven't gone to the link, okay? The first offer is $27. Is that going up today at all or anything like that?
No,
it's staying the same price. Okay, it's not a dime sale or anything like that, right?
For your crew, we give everybody till we shut that timer down. The timer will start up very soon on that page, and when that timer expires, that's when it goes up. But we'll leave it open for them, because I know some of your folks, man, they probably won't have a chance. They may be at their job. They might not have a chance to watch it until tonight or tomorrow.
So the first thing that you want to pick up is InstaClient recipe. That's $27. Okay. The second offer, if the upgrade, like I said, the first upgrade that you're definitely going to want to pick up if you want to get fully vested is $47, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody knows the prices. And the final upgrade is the white label. That's the final one, right?
Yep.
Okay, and that's $97.
That's $97.
So if you guys go all the way through this funnel and you say, I'm taking all of the upgrades, and because I want to get fully vested and I want my own VA to help me do this, you're all in, what, $170?
Yeah, like top.
And look, you couldn't go and find a VA for $170. If you did, you'd be rolling the dice and hoping that they're going to follow the steps that you give them, okay? I have Marie, who has been with me for 8 years. She's going through the training on the InstaClient recipe with her team. She has an entire office full of virtual assistants. We have leverage or the ability to leverage, and they're going to be trained on this. And so they will be doing exactly, hey, Michael, how you doing? They're going to be doing everything for you. So all you have to do is just basically sit back and relax. Now, Michael asked the question. It's like he took the words right out of my mouth. And Michael, you got to call me. We haven't talked in like a year. That's weird. I don't know, man. How did time fly like that? Anyways, Michael asked, what about after this month? Good question. And here's my evil plan, if you could call it evil. I am so confident that you're going to love this. I'm eating it the first month. And I'm actually thankful that Ben brought this to me, because now you guys are going to be hooked on our VA and you're going to want to pay full price for the next month. So if you want to continue after the first 30 days, I can get somebody to run that for you for, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do something even crazier. I'm going to offer you guys a deal on that as well. $400 a month. You'll have your own VA to do the InstaClient fully, the method for you. And you don't have to do anything except for sit back and relax.
That's killer, dude. I love that.
So after the first 30 days, you got your VA. We'll do everything. When we manage these people, like, we're just making sure they do everything. So you don't have to worry about it, because you go out, possibly find somebody in Pakistan or Philippines or something like that to do this stuff for you for a similar price. Yeah, but you have to do it all. And who wants to do that? A real business is giving you some freedom. And just going back to what me and Ben talked about before you guys jumped on this call, I'm going to be upfront. I actually envy a lot of you guys. Okay. I envy a lot of you guys because I put myself into a situation that if I could go back in time and be you, I probably would, because I've learned so much. Now, obviously, I've learned a lot along the way and I get to help people like you. But man, you can take these things, for example, like Michael Weinberg's, who's awesome, has done, buy these things and use them, and you get to leverage us. So while I'm burning the candle at both ends until 2 o'clock in the morning and getting up again at 6:30 and running a software business that takes a lot out of me, you guys get the benefit for that. So again, I'm not complaining, or it's not woe is me. I chose my path. But I just want everybody to know, I don't like to try to sugarcoat stuff. What we do is hard, okay? And I take a lot of lumps, and I won't take them for the rest of my life. I'm working hard now. Eventually I can sit back and reap the rewards from it. Ben, I'm sure you're probably doing something similar.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, you guys. It's the goal for us is, and this is the goal for you. Promise me that you guys will pay it forward when you get on the other end. Like when starts cranking for you, find someone that's trying to grow with their business and share some good stuff that you learned along the way. And I think that's the key. Is like, Mark and I very much love what we do for a living, but it's very much a passion of ours. And I don't know where this comes from, but I know that's why Mark and I like each other. It's because we both have this passion of, man, wouldn't it be great if we knew what we know now back then? And everybody that comes across us, that's our goal now, is can we teach you something that is going to help you to be even more efficient? And I think that's the key. When you guys go and grab this and you take advantage of Mark's bonus, we'd like to give you the start that we didn't have. And the only thing I ask is obviously spend way more money with Mark and I in the future. No, I'm kidding. But the only thing that I ask is you guys just, when you get on the other side, continue to pay it forward. We got to keep helping people. And the reason that this is so stinking important, and this just gets into passion, right? The reason I'm so passionate about small business and helping them with their marketing is because you guys, this is what powers our country, our economy. This is what powers our world. And it is hard running a brick and mortar small business. It really is. And so any advantage that we can give them when they're doing really good things, that's what it's all about. Part of those 5 criteria that I can run you guys through, let me just tell you an extra one that's super important to me. Find businesses that you think are cool. I love when I find somebody cool on social media and I'm just like, man, they're doing something cool. I would be proud to help them to get more people through the door because they deserve it. They have a cool concept. They've got cool things they're doing. I want to be involved with them because they inspire me. So when you do this, the kinds of clients that you want to build are the kinds of clients and customers for your agency that it actually inspire you because of what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you what, the key, the secret to a fulfilling life is having a machine that grows your business all the time. That's what I think we've put in front of you today, and put in front of you for something that is ridiculous in what you would have to invest. So jump in and grab it. But the key to doing this is when you get going with this, really put yourself in a position to where you're working with people that you enjoy, and this machine will pay dividends over and over. And we're not talking about a business for the next year. Of course, in the next year, you're going to build a great business if you follow what we talk about inside and you use Mark's bonus. You'll build a great business. But what's really going to be the payoff is what the business turns into in year 2, what the business turns into year 3, and not just the money that comes in, but the amount of freedom that you actually have to go enjoy that money, enjoy the time with your family. And I think the number one thing that I really dig is I think Mark and I work our butts off. We do. We love what we do, but we work our butts off. But
I
here's
don't have one, apparently. I'm just saying.
right. But right. And that's what I'm saying, man. We really go hard. But the idea here is like we get to do things with our families and our friends that nobody else in our life gets to do because of what you guys are about to learn inside. So if you're in that spot right now where you're tired of your current gig, you've been bouncing around trying to pick up something that you could start your own business, start it right.
Yeah.
With InstaClients, you have something that is going to generate clients for you, what most people have no idea how to do the right way. So that's that. With the 2 upgrades, you're going to have the ability to run your business like a real CEO, where you're not doing really any of the work. You're just making sure that the work gets done right. And you're getting people that are referring you even more customers, and they're good customers. And with what Mark has added here today, and I can't say enough good things about it, is it's going to give you that level of consistency. So even if you get tired, you're going to see this works, but it doesn't mean you won't get worn out. It doesn't mean that you won't get other things going on in your life that take your attention. Mark's giving you consistency and the ability to have this done correctly for your business on a consistent basis so that you yield results. And like I said,
A few questions coming in from some of these
let's
guys.
do it. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
rock it. Let me get to our
So,
question slide so we can be official with it though. So here we go.
Hey, I like you changed the top of the slide from whatever it said to questions. That was all.
I like it.
Okay, first question was actually, can you go through just like a little bit more of how to pick, like what are some of the best verticals?
So here's the thing that you're not going to like my answer, because what you want with this answer is an answer of here is this vertical. The most important answer to this question, and I used to look for the most important, what's the vertical that is the best converting vertical? What's the vertical that has the most money in it? That's not what it's about. What actually turns into a great business is what is the vertical that you actually like those people. I have people that like they followed me and they went after chiropractors, and then they realized 2 years in that they hated chiropractors. Not that they hated chiropractors in general. They didn't like that vibe. They didn't like the business. They got into it just because they thought there was money there. My thing is like right now, I want you to take a look at your life. Do you have a good chiropractor? Do you have a good dentist? Do you have a good restaurant that you like to go to? Do you have somebody that runs an online business that you really like? Go after the people that you enjoy being around them, and the rest of this stuff takes care of itself. And I know that's such a floofy answer. If you're sitting there listening, you're like, okay, yeah, sure, Ben, whatever. I'm going to go after the one that's got the most money. No, trust me on this. The most money will come into your bank account. I've split test this. The most money will come into your bank account when you're really going after people that you'd like to talk to. So when you're doing this and you're picking a niche, I know somebody's sitting there being like, you didn't really answer the question, who should I go after? Think about who you like in your personal life right now, meaning who do you spend your money with? Who do you like being? And the answer's there. I promise. The answer is hiding in plain sight in your real life. Take that, put it into this. And like I said, if you need any help with that, like why did I go after chiropractors? Obviously, I became a chiropractor. I like hanging out with chiropractors. I'm going to speak at an event this weekend and with a bunch of chiropractors in a room. I enjoy that audience. And so that's why I go after that. It's not because it's like the most lucrative niche to go after, let me assure you, but the most money comes to me because I actually enjoy them. So long answer to a short question.
I have to echo that. You know what, I've said the same thing to everybody that I talk about when they say, what niche should I work with or what vertical should I target? You should target a vertical that you're passionate about, because it makes you learn everything that you can about their problem so you can actually solve a problem. Because look, to be really honest with you, they buy because of you, obviously, but people buy because you can solve their problem. And if you know nothing about their business because you're really not interested in it, it's going to be very difficult for you. So I echo exactly what he just says. Okay, second thing, what services are like the best services to offer on Instagram?
Ooh. So the mistake that a lot of people hit me with is that if we're selling on Instagram, we have to sell Instagram services. I've never found that. And I have a very small Instagram service, and it's just a posting service that we do for Instagram. Where I really like to spend my time is I sell recurring services. And one of the things that I am very big in, if I'm being completely honest, is I do a lot of social media posting. That's one of the services that I do. And that's typically $100 to $300 a month thing that we do on that. I also do what we call an SMS marketing service. We build lists for businesses and help them market to those lists. By the way, these are all automated things that work pretty much without me based on software, but that's something that I do pretty heavily. It really does not matter the service. The only thing that really matters with the service that you provide is, are you getting them a result? I have people that like their whole thing is rep management. They're just making sure that reviews keep coming in for these businesses. And that's like a huge thing. I have people that get their foot in the door with, we'll get your Google business listing done so that you don't show up goofy looking in there anymore. Like, that's the thing. The key with this is whatever service you're already somewhat familiar with, that you're already doing, this is your foot in the door to sell that. It's not that it's a certain fit either way. The only thing that really like appeals to me about Instagram is like, if they're there, I know that they're into digital marketing. If they're there and they're a business and they're tagging themselves, they have identified themselves as digital marketing. That doesn't just mean they're into Instagram marketing. They are into it all, and they're trying to get new people through the door through digital marketing. And so I don't mean to be vague with an answer. Like I said, I told you what my services are, but like I've got people that usually when we teach this, it's like at live events or like very high paid things. And I got people that are doing all kinds of different services. I got a guy, Mark, and all he does is he does podcasters. That's it. Like podcasters, if you have a podcast and you record your audio, you send him the audio, he does all the prep work on the back. So he saves podcasters time. And this is how he gets customers through the door. So there's so many opportunities because everybody that you would want, whether they're brick or mortar or not, they're there. So hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, that makes complete sense. Okay, just a couple more questions, then we're going to go because I know you're
Okay.
busy in the middle of lunch. Okay, cool. As far as the white label stuff that you had talked about,
Sure.
what are your steps to vetting somebody out?
So typically what I do with anybody that we're bringing on for and we go through this in the training, but the vetting for me is typically I will have them build something small for me. Like for instance, one of the folks that we brought on builds in the past, they built websites and specific kinds of websites for a specific kind of client. And I won't get into that, but the idea is I said, if you were to build this site for me for this client, here's their information. What would the front page look like? Just draw it out for me. And they basically built me a demo, and the demo was killer. And so we gave them that first project. Obviously, they came back with something that wasn't perfect because that's my job. It's quality control. I told them the things that they did. They were easy to work with. And so it's a small sample, and then it's a small job. And if the communication's great back and forth and the work is really quality, we bring them on full time. If it's not, then we don't. And typically when you're first starting with this and you're finding your providers, you got to kiss a few frogs. But with this training, hopefully with what you go through, you guys don't have to kiss as many frogs as I did when I started. But the idea is pretty simple. Start off with really small stuff and escalate from there.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
So you're not, just to be clear, I didn't think I saw this, but you're not offering that as a service to do those things.
No, the thing is, I am also really big on never biting off more than I can chew, because that was the first 5 years of my career. That's all I did. So
you're like saying yes to everything, and you're like, why did I say yes to
there's
that?
money everywhere and you can make it all. But the thing is, the reason we're teaching this is because I got my stuff down pat in terms of my people. But I think there's a whole ton of people out there that want to run an agency like what we have. Like I said, I don't have to have an office. I don't have to have people in an office, and we do really well. So that's the idea. We put this training together really for folks that said, you know what, I can point finger at people to do things, and that could be my job. I can be the boss for once, other than somebody that owns the business and a worker in it too. And that's really what it's about.
Yeah, no, I love that. And like I said, if I could go back in time, I couldn't change anything only because I wouldn't know what I know now. But if I were you guys, I would totally take your opportunities like this that come across your desk or across your screen and go all in with these, because it's much easier to live that type of a life. Yeah, starting off on like I did outsource a lot of my work through like Upwork, and then after Upwork, I started pulling some of those guys off of Upwork and working with them one-on-one. But I still do some stuff with Fiverr. And then there's also companies like, if you go and Google white label services, like white label digital marketing services, services. There's literally companies that offer amazing SEO services, social media posts. There's just all kinds of stuff. So you don't really need to be in the fulfillment game at all.
No,
There's a lot of guys out there that'll do a much better job at helping you keep your client.
the thing that I'll mention, and just to put an exclamation mark on everything you just said, is don't sleep on who's in your own town or within a 50-mile radius of you too. Like, it blows me away how many people we have that do digital marketing stuff, and all they really want to do is this one little thing, and they don't want to have to worry about getting clients. That's the secret to the method. By the way, if you get in there, I really cover this. The secret to having great outsourcers is you find people that do digital agency stuff that don't want to go get clients, that don't want to mess with it, and they don't have the opportunity that Mark put in front of you guys with the VA. They've never been exposed to this kind of stuff that you guys been exposed to. They want to do the work. They're like nerdy for the work. And so like most of our outsourcers that we use in terms of like other agencies are just people that love the fact that we just send them all the That's really what we show you how to do inside, is to find those people, know what you're looking for, and then get them on, and then just shower them with business, and they'll do great work for you, and you make great profit on that.
Yeah. Again, I want to say thank you so much, Ben, for taking an hour and a half out of the launch that you guys are doing to come and talk to us. I did have a couple questions for myself, which I was saving them to the end. People were asking, what is the cost again after the first month? So I'll tell you what I'll do. For the first 25 people, I don't know what I'm thinking right now. For the first 25 people that jump in, you know what? I'm gonna make it 50. For the first 50 people that jump in, I'm gonna give you another $100 off. So you can get it after the first 30 days for $300 a month for your VA. I don't want anybody here to be like, oh, I can't do this. And what about the cost later? No, look, just do it. Okay. Noree, you're going to love working with her. She's awesome. She takes really good care of everybody that I've ever sent her. And some of you guys, I know her because I've referred you to her in the past. Easy. If you're after the first 50, then it's $400. But that will give you some extra reason to jump in right now. Let's see here. Can they do other things besides the InstaClient? Yes, they can, but we have to have a different conversation. That's a different type of a VA. So this InstaClient VA is somebody who's going to be really focused on just doing this one thing, so I can manage it and scale it very easily. But if you want a full VA, I offer those services as well. So just shoot me an email, mark@hotspector.com, and I'll hook you up. I got people that can do calls. I got people that can do cold email, you name it. All right. So just reach out. If you just want somebody that can just manage all types of aspects, we got you. Matter of fact, if you want to look at some of the callers that I have, if you go to hotprospector.com, click on the talent hub, you can look at our directory. You can click on the people's picture and hear their voice. We got people in Mexico and Jamaica and Colombia and the Philippines and all over the world. What you're looking for, we've got it. And these are people that are fluent English speaking callers that can set appointments, do sales, you name it. All right. Again, Ben, thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it.
We need to catch up again soon.
Yeah.
Next time you come to Vegas, we should.
Book it. Absolutely. Man, thank you so much for having me. And like I said, I hope that everybody was here today, got something really good that they can take action on. And like I said, everybody that made it inside got your bonus. Like, I'm so freaking excited about what you're doing. My last thing that I want to leave everybody with is if you made it inside today, don't be a stranger. When you make it inside of something that we do, I actually want to hear from you. If you get stuck on anything or you have a question that like you couldn't find, this is pretty well thought out in terms of not just, hey, the method, but we did this training. We've added pieces to it when things came in. If you missed something, or even if you're just like, you know what, I didn't have time to watch this part, but I'm going to ask Ben anyway, send it to our team. We've got a link in there. Send it over to us. We'll get you an answer fast. And like I said, my goal is to see results for you. And we're getting great results with this in our agency. The people we've taught this to get great results with it. I like hearing that something we put out into the world that was working for us works for you. And if you're not there yet, ask the question and we'll make sure that we get everything that you need done so that you see the same results. And like I said, this is like the easiest thing in the world to do once you understand what to do. And I'm excited for you guys to start. Mark, thank you. Thank you guys all for coming to hang out with me today. And Mark, I'll let you take us home.
All right, guys, do not sleep on this. Be one of the first 50, because if you aren't, you're going to have to pay 25% more for your VA for life, because I know you're going to be hooked on working with this InstaClient VA. I hope you don't mind me calling him an InstaClient VA. All right, guys, thanks again. We'll see you around.